Top 20 pixel-perfect arcade games that feel absolute blast and beauty to play, explored. Introduction. For a generation raised on quarter-munching cabinets and CRT screens, arcade games weren't just pixels, they were portals to adventure. The clink of coins, the click-clack of joysticks, and the electric hum of competition shaped childhoods, friendships, and even reflexes. From dizzying shoot-'em-ups to fist-pumping brawlers, these pixel-perfect worlds felt larger than life. Decades later, their charm hasn't dimmed. They're timeless time capsules of joy, adrenaline, and artistry. And today, we're rewinding to the golden age of arcades with 20 iconic titles that still deliver a blast of fun and a burst of beauty. But before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Your support keeps the retro flame alive. Buckle up and let your inner child cheer. Street Fighter II, 1991. Imagine stepping into a ring where every fighter tells their own tale of honor, rivalry, and raw passion. Street Fighter II transports you into a world where martial arts legends converge from every corner of the globe, each with a unique fighting spirit and personal journey. You have a stoic martial artist, Ryu, a thunder-thighed Interpol agent, Chun-Li, or even a yoga master who could punch you from across the screen, Dalsim. Each brought their own flavor, moveset, and borderline ridiculous backstory to the ring. Crafted with such meticulous charm, its characters burst to life on the screen, making every match feel like a cinematic showdown. Every encounter was a test of strategy and reflexes, where timing and skill meant the difference between victory and defeat. This classic title not only sparked countless hours of intense, head-to-head battles, but also set a standard for competitive brawls. Whether you were mastering your signature moves, or simply marveling at the distinct flair of each contender, the experience was nothing short of exhilarating. Revisiting Street Fighter II is not just a trip back to a beloved era, but an experience that reminds you why these digital duels left such an indelible mark on the hearts of a generation. NBA Jam, 1993. NBA Jam, what a blast. I can still remember walking up to the arcade cabinet, seeing the vibrant, oversized characters on screen, and hearing that instantly recognizable soundtrack as I slid a quarter into the machine. The game had this awesome, larger-than-life feel that totally grabbed you from the moment you started playing. And man, the way it made you feel like a basketball god. Those insane dunks where the players would fly through the air, defying all logic. No controller in sight, just the joystick and those massive buttons that you slammed your fingers down on in the heat of the moment. The graphics were so bold and colorful, with exaggerated proportions that made everything seem epic. And the music, that pumping, energetic beat, really drove the action. It was like the soundtrack gave life to every crunching dunk and slam. The whole experience was both chaotic and breathtaking, and honestly, I never left the machine without a smile. Every game felt like a celebration of pure, unadulterated fun. R-Type, 1987. R-Type is a standout arcade shooter that hit the scene in 1987, captivating players with its expertly designed spaceships and fiercely imaginative universe. Set in the distant, war-torn future, players control the R9A Arrowhead fighter, tasked with battling the Bido, a mysterious alien race bent on conquering humanity. The key to survival lies in mastering the powerful force, an upgradable pod that attaches to the ship for extra firepower, defensive capabilities, or special abilities. The game's stages showcase stunning, multi-layered backgrounds that feature everything from alien-infested cities to hazardous space environments. Each level is crowned by massive boss battles, like the notorious Bido Mothership, a colossal enemy that requires skillful maneuvering to defeat. With enemies like the Vasara or Overlord constantly hounding players, there's never a dull moment. The game's soundtrack sets the tone perfectly, with each track bringing out an intense and quirky vibe for every stage. Born from Irem's creative vision, R-Type's meticulously crafted levels and inventive mechanics have set a benchmark in the shoot-'em-up genre, inspiring countless successors with its rich, interstellar narrative and memorable design elements. Progear, 2001. Progear is an arcade shooter that catapults players into a whimsical steampunk world set in the Kingdom of Parts. In this universe, 5 youthful heroes, Ring Reed, Bolt Boyer, Chain Chero, Nail Nara Naruz, and Rivet Rivera, embark on a daring mission to overthrow the Motoruan sages, a band of ageless aristocrats like Blossom Pench and Gabriel Hammer, who have imposed a draconian new world order. Developed by Cave in collaboration with Capcom, this title marks a departure from traditional vertical shooters, embracing a horizontal format that intensifies the fast-paced action. Players choose between 2 distinct aircraft, the Gambler with its wide, steady fire, or the Nimble Militant with its concentrated strikes, and team up with one of 3 specialized co-pilots, each offering distinctive offensive capabilities. The game's hand-drawn, anime-inspired art and intricate level design create a richly detailed battlefield, while its inventive shooting modes and strategic item collection system add layers of tactical depth. Despite some critiques of its soundtrack, Progear's playful aesthetic, clever mechanics, and memorable characters ensure it remains a captivating tribute to the golden era of arcade gaming. Armored Warriors, 1994. Armored Warriors is an explosive 1994 arcade beat-em-up that packs a punch with its futuristic, mech-infused action and dynamic team play. Set in the year 2281, the game's narrative kicks off after a long-standing war comes to a tense ceasefire between the United Earth government and the principalities of Raya. But peace is short-lived. 1 year later, the Rayan capital of Melkide is overrun by an enigmatic enemy force. In a bid to reclaim the city and secure Earth's dominance, a diverse squad of mechanized warriors is dispatched on a high-stakes mission. What makes Armored Warriors truly stand out is its engaging multiplayer experience, where players can customize their giant robotic suits by swapping out various parts like arms, legs, and weaponry. This unique mechanic allows for a myriad of offensive combinations and strategic maneuvers, giving every battle a fresh, unpredictable twist. As you navigate through mission-based stages with specific objectives, ranging from time limits to ammunition constraints, the tension builds toward epic boss confrontations that test your teamwork and reflexes. With its blend of rich sci-fi storytelling, inventive customization, and intense, fast-paced combat, Armored Warriors offers an electrifying ride that's as fun as it is challenging. In the Hunt, 1993. In the Hunt, 1993 stands as one of those unforgettable arcade gems that kept players hooked with its relentless firestorm action and tight gameplay mechanics. Taking place in a dystopian future, the game has players piloting a heavily armed submersible through a stunning, scrolling underwater world packed to the brim with hostile craft and dangerous mines. Players must navigate this treacherous environment while gunning down hordes of enemy vehicles, avoiding deadly obstacles, and facing off against massive bosses. The game's controls are sharp, with precise shooting and the need for solid dodging tactics as the screen floods with enemies. The story, while simple, does enough to drive the action, pitting you against a militaristic organization threatening global peace. The stakes feel high, and each level offers unprecedented challenges that put your skills to the test, ensuring that every round feels rewarding, especially when you defeat a tricky boss. Despite its tough difficulty curve, which left many players sweating and gritting their teeth, the game was praised for its straightforward fun. There's something inherently satisfying about taking on relentless waves of enemies in such a well-designed world, and that's why it's still remembered by shooter fans. It's challenging, immersive, and undeniably addictive, just what classic arcade games were all about. Knights of the Round, 1991. Knights of the Round, 1991 is a beat-em-up treasure that stands out for its medieval fantasy setting and cooperative gameplay. Developed by Capcom, the game is set in the Arthurian legend and lets players take control of King Arthur, Lancelot, or Percival as they carve their way through hordes of enemies. The plot, namely the quest for the legendary sword Excalibur, intertwines with the fast-paced action, making every battle feel like a significant moment in the quest for glory. The story doesn't overwhelm the controls, though. It's all about engaging, satisfying combat that blends hacking and slashing with cooperative teamwork. What makes the gameplay so much fun is its smooth, fluid mechanics. The characters feel powerful yet nimble, with each one having unique combinations of moves, allowing for personalization in combat. Adding to the fun, players can work together to defeat enemies, perform combined attacks, or take on bosses worthy of knights' reputations. Another highlight is the well-designed stages, full of diverse environments that range from dark dungeons to epic castles. Without bogging the player down with complex systems, Knights of the Round keeps things simple, straightforward, but undeniably thrilling. The blend of cooperative brawling and strategic positioning creates an unforgettable experience, making this classic a staple in the arcade beat-em-up genre. Space Harrier 1985. Space Harrier 1985 is a groundbreaking arcade game that pushed the boundaries of technology and gameplay during its time, delivering an unforgettable experience that has etched itself into the annals of arcade history. The plot places players in the role of the brave protagonist, known as the Harrier, who must fight off waves of bizarre and colorful enemies in a psychedelic world of floating platforms and explosive landscapes. You're on a mission to save the fantasy zone from evil forces, and every second of this fast-paced adventure is a high-octane thrill ride. The gameplay is simple, yet riveting, using a distinctive behind-the-back perspective that creates an immersive 3D-like feel. With a joystick to move and a button to fire, the controls were remarkably intuitive, allowing players to dodge incoming fire and take out enemies with precision. It's a pure arcade experience, one where your reflexes are the only thing standing between you and another run at the high score. In terms of reception, Space Harrier wowed players with its revolutionary graphics and spirited, futuristic design. Its blend of engrossing shooting action and well-timed sprite scaling made it stand out among the arcade titles of the era. Addictiveness came with the sense that each stage was more challenging than the last, and the relentless pace kept players coming back for one more round, always eager to improve their skills and take on the next crazy level. Dragon Blaze 2000. Dragon Blaze 2000 is an absolute banger. This arcade shooter completely immerses you in a mystical world where you're riding a dragon through epic battles to defeat a dark, ancient evil. I love how you get to choose from 4 heroes, each with their own dragon partner that becomes a powerful weapon during intense combat. The action is fast-paced, with non-stop waves of enemies to shoot and dodge, while the dragons launch fiery, devastating attacks. The controls? Super smooth and intuitive. It's so easy to slide through enemies and blast everything in sight. And let me tell you, the graphics are just mind-blowing for an arcade game. The colors pop, the animations are slick, and the environments and enemies are beautifully detailed. One of the best parts? The variety. Each dragon you ride changes the way you approach the game, and the bullet hell patterns really keep every mission fresh and exhilarating. Players rave about how addictive it is, and I completely agree. The chaos, combined with the co-op play and that soaring soundtrack, makes you want to keep coming back for more. Dragon Blaze isn't just a game, it's a wild, fiery adventure you can't put down. Midnight Wanderers 1991. Midnight Wanderers 1991, known in Japan as Roosters and subtitled Quest for the Chariot, is an arcade platformer that has earned a revered spot in Capcom's legacy. Set in a fantastical realm where the eternal struggle between light and darkness unfolds, the game follows Lou and his steadfast companion Siva on a daring mission. Their quest? To recover the stolen Chariot of Light and rescue Princess Senna, who has been transformed into a lifeless statue by the nefarious demon Gaia. The gameplay is a pulsating blend of run-and-gun action and precise platforming. Players sprint through intricately designed levels, leaping across precarious platforms and unleashing a flurry of arrow attacks on an array of bizarre enemies. The controls are remarkably responsive. Every joystick tilt and button press feels crisp, making dodging enemy fire and executing aerial maneuvers both satisfying and challenging. Critics and arcade aficionados alike have lauded Midnight Wanderers for its vivid, hand-drawn art and its frenetic yet rewarding challenge. The game's clever power-ups and quirky humor, like the humorous consequence of taking a hit, add layers of charm that keep players coming back for more. Macross 1992. Super Space Fortress Macross immersed me in an interstellar saga where the fate of Earth hung in the balance. I assumed command of a transforming starfighter, a sleek machine that morphed seamlessly from jet to robot, enabling me to outwit a menacing alien armada. The narrative unfolds against a backdrop of cosmic valor and desperate hope, where every twist in the journey intensifies the struggle for survival. Controlling the ship felt like orchestrating a symphony of rapid maneuvers and tactical brilliance. I deftly navigated through intricate intergalactic corridors, evading streams of enemy assaults and unleashing bursts of energy that lit up the heavens. The transformative feature of my fighter wasn't merely a gimmick, it redefined each confrontation, turning ordinary encounters into electrifying skirmishes that demanded ingenuity and split-second decisions. The artistry of Super Space Fortress Macross is breathtaking. Intricate designs and rich, expansive realms melded to create an otherworldly experience that defied the limits of arcade tradition. The resonant score further amplified the epic nature of the conflict, driving home the gravity of each moment. This fusion of innovative mechanics, an engrossing tale, and unparalleled exhilaration transformed every session into a pulse-quickening odyssey through the cosmos. Star Wars Arcade 1983. Star Wars 1983 remains an iconic title for gamers of all generations, immersing players in a galaxy far, far away in a way that had never before been seen. The game, developed by Atari, takes players through a variety of memorable battles, most notably the attack on the Death Star. As a rebel pilot, you're tasked with navigating through space, performing daring maneuvers, and strategically attacking various targets, including a climactic trench run. The game's plot, though a simple retelling of the trilogy's key elements, was enough to captivate audiences with its timely release, right around the time of the original film's cultural explosion. Technologically, Star Wars broke new ground with its vector graphics, delivering a crisp and clean visual representation of iconic elements from the franchise. The simplistic art style, combined with its dazzling visual effects, made you feel as though you were actually immersed in space combat, a far cry from the pixelated designs of its contemporaries. The reception was incredible. The innovation, the sense of scale, and the novelty of playing out scenes from the movie made it an instant hit in arcades. The game captured the essence of what made Star Wars so thrilling. It left you feeling like you were part of cinematic history. Chase HQ 1988. Chase HQ 1988 is the ultimate adrenaline-fueled arcade masterpiece that totally redefined my love for racing games. This game throws you into a heart-pounding pursuit where you're a fearless cop on a relentless mission to nab high-speed criminals. The plot might seem straightforward, but there's nothing mundane about chasing down bad guys in a roaring, nitrous-boosted machine through neon-lit cityscapes. Every second is charged with intensity as you weave through traffic, slam on brakes, and unleash a flurry of actions to bring those outlaws to justice. The graphics, a dazzling display of pseudo-3D wizardry, were groundbreaking at the time. They delivered a vivid sense of speed and dynamism that made the asphalt blur beneath you, while every explosion and police siren felt like a slice of cinematic thrill. Developed by the ingenious team at Taito, Chase HQ came into being as an audacious attempt to capture the raw excitement of real-life police pursuits within an arcade cabinet, and they absolutely nailed it. Critics and players alike were electrified by its innovative design and relentless pace. For me, every run in Chase HQ was an epic, pulse-racing joyride that brought together friends and strangers in a shared celebration of speed and skill. It's a game that doesn't just entertain, it ignites a passion for racing that still burns bright, making each play session an unforgettable, turbocharged adventure. Altered Beast 1988. Altered Beast 1988 is a wild, mythological journey that struck a chord with arcade fans and still resonates today. This side-scrolling beat-em-up tells the electrifying tale of a resurrected warrior summoned by Zeus to rescue his daughter Athena from the clutches of the malevolent Neph. The plot is straightforward. Transform into powerful beasts to take down terrifying enemies and monstrous bosses. Upon release, the mind-blowing graphics were a technological breakthrough, with lively, fluid animations bringing fantastical creatures and ominous landscapes to life. The iconic transformation feature, where you morph into various beast forms like a mighty werewolf or a thunderous dragon, was groundbreaking in 1988. The visuals were combined with a brooding soundtrack that heightened the sense of urgency as you fought waves of mythical enemies and nefarious bosses on your quest. Developed by Sega, Altered Beast was an instant hit with gamers who relished the excitement of its quirky mechanics and cooperative gameplay. Critics praised its bold effort and imaginative design, even as others felt the challenge could be punishing. But that's what made it fun. Each level pushed you to dig deeper and refine your skills. It demanded interaction, rewarding perseverance with spectacular transformations and breathtaking moments, making each time you revived feel like an even bigger triumph. Dragon Saber, 1990. Dragon Saber, 1990 is an arcade classic that masterfully blends fantasy and futuristic combat into one unforgettable experience. Set in a richly imaginative universe, you pilot a sleek, transforming mecha that evolves into a mighty dragon, making every battle feel like an epic showdown straight out of legend. The game's backstory, though simple, is steeped in a sense of wonder, a struggle between good and evil, where your mech dragon is the ultimate weapon in a high-stakes war for survival. What really makes Dragon Saber shine is its unique transformation mechanic, which adds an exhilarating twist to traditional shooter gameplay. One moment, you're racing across futuristic battlefields, and the next, you're unleashing dragonic fury in aerial dogfights. The artistry is a feast for the eyes, with meticulously crafted sprites and vibrant backdrops that evoke a sense of both ancient myth and futuristic spectacle. Critically, the game was lauded for its innovative design and smooth controls, capturing the hearts of arcade enthusiasts worldwide. Mega Twins, 1990. Mega Twins, 1990 is a dazzling platformer that whisks you away to the mystical land of Harrier, a once peaceful realm now thrown into chaos by a terrifying monster. You join two brave siblings, just 15 years old, as they set off on a magical journey to reclaim their kingdom. Their quest? To find the elusive Dragon Blue Eyes stone capable of restoring their land's lost glory. It's a tale of unlikely heroes thrust into an epic battle for survival, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The heart-pounding gameplay unfolds as you control one of the twins, or both if you're playing co-op. Each twin brings their own skills to the table. The blue twin delivers stronger sword strikes, while the red twin handles a broader array of magic spells. Players climb walls, leap across gaps, and take on an endless horde of enemies by swinging their magical swords and unleashing limited magic bombs, each capable of clearing the screen. Chests containing power-ups and coins dot the game, mixing a sense of discovery with the thrill of combat. Mega Twins dazzles not only with its smooth play mechanics, but with its infectious cooperative energy. Combining strategic teamwork with dynamic action, this game's fast-paced rhythm and delightful sense of adventure make it a must-play classic. Cyberlip, 1990. Cyberlip, 1990 is set in a futuristic world where technology has been pushed to its limits. This side-scrolling action game thrusts players into an apocalyptic battlefield. The story centers around an advanced supercomputer known as Cyberlip, which goes rogue and causes a catastrophic uprising of machines against humanity. As a member of the elite giant squad, your mission is clear: defeat these rogue creations and save the human race from certain destruction. The game introduces the player to a world brimming with chrome-plated enemies, mechanical monstrosities, and high-octane laser warfare. The true thrill of Cyberlip lies not just in its battles, but in its variety of combat mechanics. Players had to make tactical decisions between precise shooting and strategic maneuvering. Graphically, the game impressed with its vivid, high-quality sprites, showcasing full-screen explosions that felt almost cinematic for its time. Even though it didn't completely revolutionize side-scrolling shooters, Cyberlip stood out for its consistency and hard-hitting action, offering players an immersive arcade brawler. Vasara 2, 2001. Vasara 2, 2001 is a veritable gem from the golden age of arcade shooters, a title that packed an electrifying punch and left an indelible mark on enthusiasts of the genre. Set against a dystopian future where humanity grapples with an enigmatic and relentless threat, the game casts you into a high-octane conflict where survival hinges on lightning-fast reflexes and strategic power-ups. The plot, while minimalist, provides a tantalizing backdrop, a desperate struggle in a war-torn world where players must thwart an onslaught of mechanized foes and bizarre, otherworldly adversaries. This narrative serves as the perfect foil for the core action, which is as unforgiving as it is exhilarating. What truly distinguishes Vasara 2 is its intricate, almost balletic display of bullet patterns and enemy formations. The controls are razor-sharp, ensuring that every maneuver feels both precise and fluid, a necessity when dodging a veritable storm of projectiles. The graphics burst with vibrant hues and detailed sprite work that capture the frenetic energy of a futuristic battlefield, transforming each level into a dynamic, pulsing arena. At the time of its release, Vasara 2 was lauded for its innovative mechanics and immersive presentation, offering a gameplay experience that was both challenging and immensely rewarding. Gun Nail, 1993. Gun Nail, 1993 is one of those games that captures the essence of arcade shooters in a delightfully unique, albeit sometimes frustrating, way. Set in a futuristic war zone, you pilot a combat vehicle, blasting through enemies in a straightforward yet thrilling sequence of stages. At first glance, the game may seem a bit unremarkable compared to more bombastic titles, but it possesses a charm of its own that hooked me in. What stands out in Gun Nail is the unconventional scoring system. The fewer lives you have left, the more points you're awarded. This mechanic forces you into making risky choices. How many lives do you sacrifice to climb your score? It's an addictive challenge, but it also introduces some tension as the difficulty ramps up with each risky decision. As for the game's aesthetics, it's a mix of muted colors and cyberpunk-themed enemies with modest but effective designs. The visual clarity helps, but those droning enemy bullets can sometimes feel a bit too trivial, making it tougher to track all of the action. Despite its dated feel, the gameplay is gratifying once you understand its rhythm. While it wasn't revolutionary, Gun Nail's unique scoring and cooperative elements make it memorable and worth diving into, especially for fans of shooter mechanics looking for that perfect balance of risk and reward. For its era, it's a solid, reliable example of arcade fun with just the right amount of challenge. Strider, 1989. Strider, 1989 is an action-packed arcade game that blends high-tech espionage with martial arts acrobatics in a truly unforgettable way. Set in a dystopian future where a powerful totalitarian empire has spread its evil across the globe, you take on the role of Strider Harrier, a cyber-enhanced ninja warrior on a mission to take down the malevolent forces controlling the world. One of the key standout features of Strider is its incredible graphics, which were groundbreaking at the time. The game showcased immersive and fluid animations that allowed Strider to gracefully leap, slash, and maneuver through diverse environments. The gameplay itself was a hybrid of fast platforming and edge-of-your-seat combat. The combination of precise, deadly sword strikes and acrobatic physics made every battle feel dynamic and fluid. The controls were tight and responsive, allowing you to execute pinpoint moves and strategies to defeat waves of enemies. Strider was undeniably a game ahead of its time, blending action with cinematic storytelling elements to create a deeply immersive experience. It was vibrant, fast, and showcased a level of polish that made it one of the top-tier arcade titles of the era. Every session of this game brought a new rush, leaving players coming back time and time again for more ninja action. Marvelous verdict. Each and every game on this list was a one-way ticket that took us to realms where we were fighters, mecha, dragons, and whatnot. From Street Fighter II's fist-pumping duels to NBA Jam's gravity-defying slams, these arcade titans weren't just games, they were a whole new world in them that not only provided us with an escape, but also with camaraderie and moments that we couldn't forget even if we want to. If this video reminded you of those good old days, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives. Also, don't forget to comment and let us know which games were your childhood's highlight. We love hearing about your arcade adventures. Until next time, happy gaming.